Great. So good morning and welcome to our Monday morning mindful of good meditation. And I'm going to record this and send it out to you. Some of you may not have power. We had a big storm here and internet may have been cut off. It happened to us. And so you can listen to this later if you have a chance. And the topic I thought we would work with today and revisit is called Taking Heart. And this is, good for the end of the year. We won't be meeting next week on the 26th of December, and then we'll continue in the new year. But a nice way to work with Taking Heart is to recognize that especially during holiday times, sometimes we have good memories and sometimes things are difficult for some people during the holidays. So it takes courage to live in ordinary times, and even more so when difficulties arise. So the act of taking heart comes from the word courage, and courage, the root is core, which means heart. So we take heart when we weather the storm, either literally or figuratively, like we just had 22 inches of heavy, wet snow here in Maine. So finding encouragement again to engage in goodness is called that taking heart, inside and outside. So we have courage, we think of being compassionate to ourselves and also compassionate to the world outside. So resting in care, moving forward with your whole heart and knowing your own truth, even when you're aware of maybe frustrations, setbacks, disappointments, anxiety, whatever it is, thinking of the larger picture. Sometimes it helps to think about people maybe on the world scale who have faced great difficulties. I can think of an example of Queen Elizabeth II, her reign of 70 years, and what different difficulties and challenge she faced, especially at a young age when World War II was going on. And then I could maybe think of Martin Luther King and his striving for racial justice and the difficulties that he faced. And you also might know someone personally, including yourself, that when you face difficulties, you find a way to muster and carry through without, without losing your center. So we're going to do this guided meditation, just working with mindfulness, not getting distracted by anything that doesn't have any particular value. So we're looking for goodness and taking heart in the real things, like the sun rises, the snow, even though it's deep and thick and heavy, has a beautiful luster and brilliance to it. And maybe you had a generator that helped you get through the outages. So doing things that help you come back to center as well, especially during the holidays, maybe a regular sleep, good nutrition, of course, exercise, and then maybe taking some time to journal or meditate is always great. And keeping a perspective. Remember that humans have walked the earth for over 200,000 years, and we now have, I think, 8 billion people on the planet. So we're just part of a small part of a big picture, as you could say. And in the words of my wise person, my stepfather, he also used to say, when things get difficult, you just put one foot in front of the other. So you take one step at a time. So let's get started. I'm gonna ring the bell. And I invite you to just take a few breaths, accentuating the exhalation. So just maybe sitting in a chair like I am. My feet are on the floor. I'm just breathing in and out. And if you like, you can lower your gaze. And becoming aware of the heart region, the chest region here. Maybe noticing your body. Noticing where any discomfort or tension may be, and just observing. not trying to change it. Maybe notice when you put a spotlight on it, you're aware of it, but you could put a spotlight on parts of your body that are just neutral and not in any particular area of tension, and that kind of balances it out. You can think of maybe the tension might be in a small area in your body. For example, my shoulders are a little tight right now because of the shoveling I did. But if I focus on my feet, which feel just fine, the awareness of the tightness in the shoulders decreases. So you could try that. It's becoming aware of parts of your body that are either neutral, maybe you hadn't noticed because they're not sending you any particular signal. And then going back to maybe a part of the body that might be sending you a little signal, maybe need a little attention. One of the things I like to do if I feel tightness anywhere is I like to put my hands on that area and just gently kind of, we call in the industry palpate it, but just touch it, just feel the temperature and the of the skin and note the texture. And it kind of gives the body a signal that it's everything is okay. Particularly if you touching around the areas of the jaw, even the lips, kind of signals that the body can relax. It's okay. When you think about this, is a very sensitive area. When we were born, we learned to feed. Of course, we learned to suckle, and that was the first response for nutrition. So that area around the face, maybe the eyes, at the top of the head, just kind of recognizing maybe those areas are a little tight, but you can relax and let that go. So let's have an experience of times when you felt you were supported. Maybe someone encouraged you, or you felt your own encouragement inside. You felt a sense of accomplishing something that seemed at the time difficult, but in the end was you were able to overcome. And if you want, you can lower your gaze and maybe enrich that experience, noting perhaps the support you have around you, starting with maybe the chair you're sitting in. You know the chair is firmly placed on the floor in a room, a building. All of that supports you. And you think of all the systems that go into supporting you, the heat we have in, especially in when it's cold, in the cold months, the windows that we have to protect our home from drafts and rain coming in or snow, the roof over our head. And we can think of people, maybe a circle of people that care about you. This time of year, sometimes we get cards from people we haven't heard from for a while because they remember us during this time of year as we remember them. So those are a circle as well that perhaps you can take heart in that. Even if they're across the miles, perhaps there's traditions that you practice during this time of year. You can take heart in that significance, the value of that. Guiding your attention to things that are of value, that are of good and beneficial to you and to others. Sometimes we bring a live tree in the home, decorate it, light it up with lights during the darker months. We just had a ornament, significant ornament decorating for the Cancer Resource Center, recognizing and honoring people with cancer who are with us today and who have passed on. We could take heart in that, knowing that there are organizations that care, of value. And then let that sink into your heart. Let that sink into any area in your body that feels neglected or needs some attention. Might feel tight. Just taking care. You could even recite, if you breathe in, hello, friend, to yourself, and then exhale. So you're nourishing your breath, acknowledging that you're friendly to yourself as well as to others. You may not be perfect, but recognize the goodness inside of you that you've carried with you throughout your whole life. Going to be quiet for a while we explore taking heart. Having courage. Maybe allowing yourself just to recognize that invisible current, the connection of your heart to your mind and your heart to others, heart to heart. You might want to take a moment to think about the good in this world. Maybe the goodness of nature, the bright sun shining on the sparkling snow, recognition of good acts that others may do and you may do yourself for helping to improve. Maybe you've donated your time or your money to a good cause as others have. All of these things add up for goodness. So recognizing that whatever strong forces have arisen or will arise to confuse and frighten, you can preserve an inner strength and freedom deep inside. Why don't we end with the hums? I always like to do 5 hums, practice 5 hums, and they're at your own vocal comfort and pace. So we'll begin. Hum. 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 Want to put your hands next to your heart. Thumb can be pointed in. That's called the Anjali Mudra. You could think about taking heart over this next week, sharing love, peace, and joy with others. Maybe just spreading it out across the world to places maybe you'll never visit, but is still part of our human connection, our humanity. Great. Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, peace. Thank you.